Alrighty, let's kick this thing off. So this is the 1/18th scale Easy RC Glacier. This is obviously a square body Chevy. They market it as a C10, which is false, being that it is four-wheel drive. So it's technically a K series, but also it is a long bed. So it is actually more of a K20. But gripes on that isn't really why we're here. I'm here not to do a review or unboxing, because obviously it is unboxed. I am here to tell you problems and fixes for this rig. So we're going to start it off with assuming that you've already owned one and you're trying to figure stuff out, which is probably why your front diff always gets hung up on stuff and you want to look into bigger tires. So going from the Axial SXT or 24 or whatever that thing is called, they make a lot of aftermarket tires with foam, and they are bigger than the OEM, but the OEM is not bad, it's just they're too small. This is a 2.4-inch tall tire compared to the 2.2 and or 2.1. I don't know really what it is, but a good fix for the other one is to put BBs, plastic BBs from a pellet gun in them, just to help give them some sturdiness and some weight too. But these are some press stamped steel rims. I will put a link in the description, and same with these tires, being that they are the tallest that I've found. So there's a tire setup that will work. They're considered micro, but to fit these tires, you are going to need a couple of things. So you're going to have to really shave the body here and a tad bit on these, but not as much, for your tire to be able to fit throughout the whole wheel well. The other thing is your wheel well. You're going to have to shave the livid hell out of it up front and a little on the bumper. I've never actually had problems, so you don't need to do the bumper, but it is nice. Just one spot that I realize it could hit at full squat or flex, whatever you want to call it. So with bigger wheels, you're going to need to trim your body, and the other thing is you're going to need to lift it a bit. What I did was, on the screw inside of the shock, what I did was I just screwed it out a bit till it is like half and half, and that will actually give you a lot more a little more room, which I've realized on the front it doesn't actually help, which I will get to. Well, not even get to, I'm gonna do it right now. So when I press this side, it is nice and easy to move. When I press this side, it has a weird like pushback. It doesn't want to move. And you can see when I do this one, the whole body rolls, and then I do this one, and it almost makes the whole front end squat. The reason being is the panhard bar, and I don't know if I need a longer one or maybe a shorter one, being that it is technically lifted a mil or two. So that is something that I've realized, being that this is a pinion gear differential setup. It torques the body, and you do see it, and it causes a lot of rollovers, which this truck is very prone for rollovers, hence why I got these little copper, or I think they're brass hex nuts to give it more weight. I've modified these a lot, and again, just to help with the rollovers, which there is a lot of. What I'm going to show you is what I had to do. One, you're going to need a special socket that is ground down to be able to fit into this nut. So reason for why I did that was on the back. When you look at these, there is a little like protrusion to help with the pin. I fully ground it off, and that was actually a huge mistake. Leave some for it to push up against this brass. I don't know what's up with this camera. It does not want to focus. There's a brass bushing in there, so you need it to be able to push up against that nicely, which mine has not, and it's been wearing, it's been wearing on the outside plastic. But I did take off the outer a bit, like on the back there's a lot, because when I did that, it kind of made it where it touches right here. So that's my reasoning, and the other reasoning why I even took that spacing off is for the pins. They would fall out, and I want to actually believe that it was the rims. So for your rims to actually be pushed on correctly, you need to bore out the inside hole to actually fit over this, and it'll actually be fine. But I mean, you live and you learn, and that's just what I had to do, was learn that was the problem and why I lost the pin over there and not anything else. So these do help, and they work. For some reason, there we are. Slip this guy back on because I don't want to deal with losing another pin. Paper clips, actually, since I'm on this topic. If you lose any of your pins, just take a paper clip, a normal sized one, and it works. Just cut it to length and you'll be all nice and dandy. So I got the wheel back on, and pretty much now going off of the whole tire thing. The reason for the tires was the whole diff, if you've actually drove this. Now to the suspension. The rear springs are thickened in the front for some reason, which, I mean, it works out if you're going to put heavy stuff in the back and actually use this for like a actual truck. Problem is we're actually crawling it. So I took these off and I put them onto a drill bit, and then I put it into a drill and ran it onto some sandpaper, and I used a caliper until it got down to 0.02. The front is 0.018, so still wanting some stiffness in the rear. This seems to work out really well, and it seems to also actually now allow this to flex nicely. But this does seem to make it where when you give it gas, it kind of torques over. It torques over towards the left, but it's okay. Going back to lifting this thing, you don't, well, I didn't even say that, but you don't actually want to use the suspension lift, because you're gonna have to completely change out all your four link and maybe your axles and stuff, and it's more messy. But if you're looking for a quick grab to get these tires to actually work and not bind up in your wheel wells, I took a gift card and a hole puncher, and I punched out 6 of these. I put little holes in them, and they're just now throughout the vehicle. There's 2 under here. You can't really see it, but well, you can actually see from the top. But the reason being is for it to be a body lift. These little bottom pins will actually sink into this, so this isn't just lifting it by how actually tall it is also lifting it by preventing the pin from slipping in. So you can see up front that there's the little slot for the bumper, and it is actually seeable, so it did lift it. And doing that actually made it where this thing is now able to crawl without any problems with these tires. So after you do that, get the tires and you mess with your spring rate. You can buy the other models suspension and just put on the spring, but this is the cheap and free way. After you do that, this thing crawls amazing. The motor has a lot of power. The battery lasts for a very long time. The front suspension steering angle isn't the best, but it does get it done. And what you're able to do is buy the axial 600 milliamp hour LiPo batteries, and they go right in, and they actually fit inside of the battery pocket, which on the other Easy Model RC Easy RC models, they don't. So I think it's only the Patriot and this one that it will fit. But after you do that, you're going to be able to see a lot more performance out of this, and it's a small niche market, and you can do it inside. We had snow once, and I was messing with it on the inside, not with these tires because I was still figuring out how to set it up. But that was all stock suspension, and I was binding a lot on these diff covers. But I think if you're looking into getting one of these rigs, when you do all that stuff, it is perfect, and it's not a bad buy. But I'll show more crawling video without me talking, just so you could see it and see what it's capable of. The rims, I forgot what their brand is, but it's a stamp rim that is steel, and you're able to flip it inside out, which is done from another YouTuber, so that's where I kind of got that. But oh, I'm completely glancing over the biggest problem. Out of the box, if you're going uphill or you're towing uphill or you're just beating on it, these pinion gear are horrible. They don't have the correct slack to them, so they strip pretty easy. The rear, I put in a brass washer, and I had to drill it out and also make it a little smaller to fit in front of the other one. So my washer is directly behind the pinion gear, and then the brass one is in there. So when you do that, you kind of sand it down, get it all nice and working. The little screw hole in the pinion gear, you have to walk it up to be able to get the screw to fit in, but after that you're completely fine. The threads are not dependent in the pinion gear, it is only on this little U-joint. It pretty much just threads into its other side, so you don't have to worry about that. I haven't done it on the front, and I could hear it slowly wearing away, and that's going to be my own problem. The FMS does actually have some metal gears out there. It is kind of niche to find them. I did find a good website. It comes from Hong Kong, so it does take a little, but I'll put that in the link down below so you can find that. Pretty much everything I've done is going to be in the description. So hopefully you enjoy seeing this thing crawl, the before and after, and maybe it'll help some people out, because I was completely lost when I tried getting into this. I tried doing suspension and lifting, and it's just not worth it. So hopefully somebody else comes out with actually lifting it and doing a whole different 4-link setup, and that works. Or someone figures out what's up with the panhard bar. But other than that, this is a nice little affordable rig. I would say the axial is a better buy, just because you're able to go and rip on it and not worry about breaking it, but you get what you pay for. This one's just more model accurate and cooler to play around with. So hopefully you enjoyed my video. Please leave a like and subscribe. This is probably going to be the only RC video, so if you want RC stuff, maybe don't subscribe to me, but just wanted to get this out there so people could actually have fun with this little trail rig. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a good day.